The Beatles, Legend and Lore, The Lost Interviews, written by Geoffrey Giuliano, narrated by Geoffrey Giuliano. That Glenn A. Baker had the foresight to preserve his audio encounters with the Beatles was indeed a blessing. That he has chosen to share them with all of us even more so. Among those that were there at the time, Baker alone seems to have formed a relationship of real intimacy with the Fabs. Quite a tall order for four young men as perpetually distracted and strung out as they obviously were. Here you will find the Beatles holding forth in a more relaxed and candid way than was usual for the boys at that time. For everything they later became, here were the Beatles at the very beginning, before heavy-duty drugs, before Yoko, before the feuding, and before canonization. What you get then is a pure dose of John, Paul, George, and Ringo as nature intended, broadcasting live from the eye of the hurricane.
What do Australians think of the Beatles?
I think they're beaut.
I think they're a blot on the face of humanity.
Happy, natural sort of chaps.
I haven't heard so terribly much of them, but my two youngsters are mad about them, so of course Mum has to fall in line too, really.
Oh, not much, I tell you.
I like the Beatles.
They're stone mad.
Take it or leave it.
As a matter of interest, Keith, didn't you have the Beatles before they had achieved their quite...
You're short of words.
Yes, I am.
Yes. We did indeed. We had them early on when they just came out with, I think, their second record. But they were a sensation at that time. They knocked out the crowd there of about 400 people who come to the Pop Inn. With their, although it's a radio show, they gave a visual performance with their record while it was being played. And they knocked everybody out. They were so funny, so very amusing.
This is the thing that has appealed to me about these boys. They seem to have a really offbeat sense of humour.
They have that, and if you're, I don't know if in the course of this visit you'll be interviewing them, but I warn you that it's a little difficult to keep up with them sometimes. I'm not suggesting you won't be able to, Benny, but I get way out on a limb sometimes, particularly with John Lennon, whose mind jumps all over the place.
Yes, on Pop-In, did you interview them a little bit first?
We usually get a chance for a couple of minutes chat before we're on the air, and then when they come in, when we introduce them to the crowd, we have an interview of about... I don't like the word interview, a chat.
A chat, yes.
For about a minute and a half. With all four at once, which was fairly chaotic, but very amusing.
It must have been absolutely delightful. In other words, you can clear one point for me. Nobody writes these funny things that these boys say.
Oh, heavens above now. No.
Let me say that it just happens that I'm fortunate enough to be very good friends with Brian Epstein, whom you found a very charming person, no doubt.
Indeed I did.
And in turn I've worked with the Beatles, and we've become fairly good pals. We're sort of at the stage where we rather send each other up mercilessly, and that's rather good. But I must say that whilst I was able to talk to Brian Epstein and get you to the office, you are the one who has gotten this interview, and I really think that this is a scoop, because Beatles interviews are very difficult. Number one, because they're so hard to get. They're tremendously busy boys. They're dashing all around the world. They never seem to have a spare moment. And when I spoke to Brian and said that my very good friend Binny Lum from Australia would like to get the Beatles on tape and get an interview for Australia, Brian said, well, by all means, Alan, send her along, and I'll see if the boys can sort of be gotten into the right mood after a very heavy day's filming schedule. And obviously, Binny, the boys warmed to you very much from what came out on that tape, and I think it's sensational.
When did you actually start? Were you personally interested in show business as a younger man?
I've always been interested in show business. I attended the Royal Academy of Dramatic Art in London for 18 months when I was 21, but subsequently went back into the family business and sold records for 5 years. And I think I got a bit bored with business. I wasn't actually looking for anything else to do, but amid my activities locally in Liverpool, which is where my home is, I came across the Beatles.
And of course the story has just absolutely snowballed since then, hasn't it?
Yes. Well, I commenced management with the Beatles, and after a few months I decided that in order to add to their importance and my importance as a manager, it should be a good thing to be able to offer promoters and people in the business other
Sample complete. Ready to continue?